closer.
Well, Barry, if there was ever a fighter who decided to do it the hard way, it's Mickey Cantwell. This is his second chance in world class. He's going down a weight division.
Yes, that concerns me a bit. He's come down from flyweight to light flyweight and down to strawweight. It does concern me, but he's prepared very, very well. He's got Jimmy Tibbs in his corner, and he's made an awful lot of hard work, steady work for this one.
What he does have in his advantage is he's at home again here, Barry. He fought in London in his previous world title opportunity against baby Jake Matlala, and it really was an heroic performance. Now he's got to prove that he learned from the last one. Rob McCaffrey had a word with him just a moment ago.
How difficult is it going into the fight when you know so little about the opponent?
Yeah, very difficult, but as Jimmy said, we know he's trained me to cover every angle, so hopefully we'll be ready for whatever he throws at us.
I must admit this week.
Unknown opponent, more or less, from the Philippines, fighting in Britain for the first time tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a dark horse. His record doesn't suggest that he's that good. However, he is a natural strawweight. He's been fighting at that weight for a while, and that, as I said, worries me a little bit that he's come down in weight, but he's prepared very, very well. He knows what to expect. He's got himself in condition both from a boxing point of view, stamina point of view, and he'll have a fight if necessary.
Barry's also been having a look at how Cantwell can do it in the ring.
Mickey Cantwell, at the age of 34, is determined to win a world title at the second attempt. He displayed classy movement and a good jab in his previous world title challenge against baby Jake Matlala. He showed he could box off the back foot as well, here retreating to the corner before firing shots off the ropes. He's defensively solid too, here blocking shots to the body and to the head with his right arm. And here ducking under Matlala's left hook and taking another shot on his shoulder and gloves. He does lack power, but he knows this and will be looking to keep the fight at long range, and I take him to win the title on points.
Barry, the other good news for Cantwell is that he is the experienced man in this fight, isn't he?
Well, Jamili doesn't have a great record, only had 14 professional fights, so it doesn't suggest that he's any more experienced than Jamili, but don't for 1 minute doubt that this guy is not as tough as they come. They're teak tough from the Filipinos. They're all very, very strong. Remember Rolando Navarrete? There's so many of them that could really fight. So this guy is a dark horse. We don't know enough about him, but he can fight, you can bet.
Thank you, Barry. And just a reminder before we go to the arena that this is a special pay-per-view event here on Sky Box Office 3. Our coverage will be encrypted very shortly. If you have ordered this event and have any difficulties receiving the signal, this is the number to ring, 0990 800 888. That's 0990 800 888. I said it would be non-stop World Championship action all night. Let's get to the London arena, and we will start with Mickey Cantwell's big moment. Our commentary team, Jim Watt and Simon Reed, after our Master of Ceremonies, Mike Goodall.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome viewers to Sky Box Office and the London Arena and the Long Good Friday, a night of World Championship Boxing promoted by Frank Warren for Sports Network and sponsored by Jumbo Cash and Carry and the Ministry of Sound with music from the Annual 3. We begin with our first world title contest of the evening, and would you please welcome first to the ring the challengers for the WBO strawweight title, and first of all from the Philippines, Eric Jamili.
Just 20 years old, from Paranaki near Manila. This is a big night for him. Won the WBO Intercontinental Strawweight Championship in April. KO'd Interdon Petrobaldan in the first round, so he can dig. But he's going to be good enough for Mickey Cantwell tonight. Eric Jamili.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ring England's own Mickey Cantwell.
He had to wait an age for his first shot at the world title, February of this year. And he did really well to take baby Jake Matlala to that split decision. A And now here at this new weight of strawweight, Cantwell has a second chance at the age of 34. He's ready, all right. So the tail of the tape, Jamili just that little bit taller. 7 stone 7 is the weight limit. Both of them comfortably inside, and Cantwell just a 1-inch advantage on reach. And Cantwell, the more experienced, a lot more rounds boxed. And Jamili with a knockout percentage, but there's only 4 in 8. Cantwell inside the distance, 2 out of 13. And the rules, the WBO, a mandatory 8 count, 3 knockdown rule. The referee only can stop the fight, and the bell saves the fighter in the last round only.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is sanctioned and conducted under the rules of the WBO. The president, Francesco Vacant. The officials appointed for this contest, the supervisor at ringside, Mr. Stan Gallup of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the USA. The British Boxing Board of Control steward, their president, Mr. Nipper Reid, QPM. And the timekeeper for this contest, Mr. Danny Peacock from London. The judges sat at ringside, Mr. Jose Torres of Puerto Rico, Mr. Mickey Van of Leeds, and Mr. Ruben Garcia from Texas. And the referee in charge of this contest from Minnesota in the USA, Mr. Mark Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Warren for Sports Network proudly presents the contest of 12 3-minute rounds for the vacant WBO Strawweight Championship. Between and introducing, firstly, in the red corner, coming from the Philippines, wearing the red trunks, from 14 professional contests, he has 8 wins, 4 by way of KO, with 5 losses and 1 draw, and weighed in at 7 stone 6 pounds. Would you please welcome Eric Jamili. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, across the ring in the blue corner, wearing the royal blue trunks trimmed with white, coming from Eltham in England. He's had 18 contests as a professional, 13 wins, 2 by way of KO, with 4 losses and 1 draw. And he weighed in at 7 stone 6 1/4 pounds. He's the former British flyweight champion, and tonight making a second attempt at a world title. Please welcome your very own Mickey Cantwell.
Such a positive character is Cantwell, but he knows, and so do his fans, that this is probably his last chance at a world title level.
Instructions in the dressing room is for the WBO Championship of the World. I expect a clean championship fight. Just obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves, good luck to both of you.
12 3-minute rounds for the vacant Strawweight Championship of the World.
Cantwell from Eltham, Kent. Jamili from Paranaki in the Philippines.
That's the first surprise. Simon didn't realise he was a southpaw. I wonder if Cantwell knew that.
From all accounts, he's an aggressive southpaw. He can dig a bit. We shall see. Cantwell not known for his fearsome punch, but work rate.
Yep, and fairly tall opponent he has too. This could already, it's looking like it could be a little awkward for Mickey. A southpaw, a tall southpaw, and a southpaw who is looking to throw heavy shots in the first round, so he doesn't lack confidence. He looks very relaxed, very at home in there, the little Filipino, doesn't he?
He sure does. He has a very big win when he won the title at the Intercontinental WBO title against Petrobalden. Won that in the first round and then defended it. Technical KO of Lalita Lareo of the Philippines in August.
He really is very tall, and the Filipinos they're famous for the amount of weight they can drag off their fighters, so you wonder what this fellow walks around at in between fights. He's so much taller than Cantwell. Well, the first feeling you get about Jamili, he certainly looks competent, doesn't he? He's quite at home in there. He's been launching some solid shots straight away in the first round. And that little relaxed look about him.
Yes, he's got a relaxed demeanour, moves well. Very smooth indeed. Not a lot of action yet, but...
Cantwell's just trying to measure the southpaw jab. He's just trying to see what kind of jab it is. Does it always come straight? Is he going to turn it into a hook? Until he finds that the best method of getting past it. Because that's the first battle with the southpaw and the orthodox. It's the battle of the jabs, first of all.
Cantwell looking to pressure. This is good work from Jamili.
The body shots there look certainly the more solid, the more quality punches have come from the visitor so far. And here he looks like a little tiger there, ready to pounce. Very confident looking kid, this one.
Well, he's belying his record of 8 wins, 5 losses and a draw. He's making a spectacular start here against Cantwell. Nasty moments, you can see he's cut on the bridge of his nose, is Cantwell. And that's a very, very good round for Eric Jamili. Arrogant start. Work to do for Jimmy Tibbs and Frank Black, tending to that nose in the early stages. And that knocks you out your stride.
Yeah, that's the last thing you need, your last chance of winning a world title, which obviously it must be, and you come back from after the first round with a cut. I mean, whether or not it's a bad cut, it's obviously the last thing you need. And it wasn't really a good round for Cantwell. Quiet opening.
Yeah, we saw the stats there on body shots. 13 body. There's the way the nose got cut. Scything blow.
Just the look of confidence about this little fellow that upsets you, just alarms you a little bit.
It's a nasty cut. It's not going to be that serious as far as the stoppage is concerned, but it doesn't look very pretty at all. And of course, Jamili can look at it and inwardly smile.
Yeah, it just gives you confidence straight away. You've inflicted damage and the fight hasn't even warmed up yet, and you've drawn first blood, as they say. So it certainly doesn't look like an easy night's work for Mickey. And Mickey looks as though he wants to impose himself early now, make up for that. So just don't be careless. You don't want to start training with a fellow before you know how much power he carries. This is an unknown quantity, and the first look, he was fairly impressive.
This strawweight, 7 stone 7, doesn't have a British title because there's so few fighters around. Even light flyweight, we don't have an official British title there, but of course they do in the Philippines.
It's amazing. I remember more than 20 years ago they had to give Walter McGowan a Lonsdale belt at flyweight because there was no flyweights to box him. Now we're down at 7 stone 7. It's amazing the way things are going. This little fellow still looks dangerous. Everything he does. You know, he doesn't play around at all. All meaningful shots that he throws.
Better work from Cantwell.
Mickey's a great little battler, but with the face already damaged. And this fellow certainly, it looks as though he punches harder than Cantwell does. So you'd like to see Mickey doing the first few rounds in a clever manner rather than trade punches. Cantwell's feinting to him now, trying to draw the leads and leave him out of range.
Swings from Cantwell, but they were landing on the gloves.
This little fella keeps very cool, very calm. He's switching uppercuts and hooks. It's that little bit lot of blood in Jamili's left eye. I don't know if it's just a... Well, that would certainly cheer Cantwell up if that's a little cut appearing on Jamili's left. It's difficult. I can see the red. It may be from Cantwell. It's difficult to say.
Yes, there's a lot of blood obviously coming from the nose of Cantwell, so it's difficult to differentiate.
Well, Cantwell, there's a lot of pressing in this round.
No, I don't think there is a cut.
It's just maybe some blood that's come from Cantwell. See, this is not Mickey's normal style, just boring forward without really thinking what he's doing. I can't see him carrying on with these tactics. That nose is fairly badly damaged too.
Oh, yes.
Classy little punches Jamili's throwing.
Smooth as silk. Had a torrid start to his professional career, Jamili. He won only one of his first 4 fights. It looked like they may have put him in a little bit too high up the ranking too early, but since then he's come to terms. There's his record so far, nothing really to shout about, but he's obviously been in very good company.
See, that's the thing we don't know. We don't know the calibre of the opposition. But Mickey, that wasn't Mickey's normal style there. He forced all the way through that round, but made quite a few mistakes. He took quite a few counters. And for me, Jamili, the quality of his punches was slightly higher than Mickey's in that round.
Frank Black with the silver hair, Jimmy Tibbs, who obviously helped you a lot in your career. It's good acknowledgement there.
A good team. So when you are cut, it's nice to have such an experienced team in the corner.
So in every way, statistically, emotionally, and effectively, it's Jamili in front here. Cantwell, what can he do?
Nose it bleeding already before a punch has landed. That must be a fairly bad cut.
Still plowing forward, still getting picked off.
See, Cantwell doesn't like doing anything reckless. He's a controlled little boxer, but obviously feels the injury, a little bit of panic in his boxing here.
Means so much to him, of course. He recognised this may be his last chance. There's a good shot, good right hand there.
I mean, the way Cantwell came off his stool to start the third round there, you could see what it meant to him. He was in the centre of the ring before the bell had finished sounding. Cantwell nullifying Jamili's attacks here. He wants to keep doing that if possible. It's just not his normal style. It's a kind of brawling style he's having to adopt here.
They're shouting, make him miss, Mickey, but he's not able to do that too often.
So Jamili has good balance. Even when he misses, he doesn't leave himself completely open. So Mickey's going to have to work for the openings here. I mean, I agree Mickey should be feinting and hassling him a little bit, but he doesn't want to be reckless.
Good shot over the top. Cantwell rocked a bit. Jamili thinks that he may have seen something. Another good shot again, that right uppercut brought the cut.
It's amazing for a young kid, the coolness. He's like a real experienced campaigner here. The coolness he showed it in delivering that uppercut all the time in the world. Didn't hassle himself, picking his shots away nicely. And with Mickey not boxing his normal style, he's leaving too many openings.
Worse, seems to be widening, and blood right down his nose now and across it.
I mean, I wonder if the corner have told Mickey that they can't handle the bleeding. There's a possibility this could be stopped. I mean, because it's not in the eye doesn't mean to say that the referee won't stop the fight. And the way Mickey's boxing, it's not his normal style, and I wonder if his corner haven't told him he's going to have to do something drastic here. He's actually looking for a knockout. There's no way Cantwell makes this many mistakes in the first 3 rounds of a fight.
Grinning through the blood, Cantwell. Forcing himself forward, but the class is showing. It's a big decision for the corner now as to exactly how to play this. If they have told him that there's maybe only 2 or 3 rounds left, you see the referee moving in there to have a close look at the cut and asking if they're able to go on, and of course they're going to say they are. That's Renato Basayan doing the work with Eric Jamili. And they've got him absolutely perfectly ready for this fight.
Round 4.
Fourth round. So far, it's Jamili leading by a street.
Problem for Cantwell, he can't even shake the fellow's rhythm. I mean, nothing that Cantwell's done has robbed Jamili of any of his coolness. He's so cool, so calm, and so confident. And Mickey is having to force in a way he doesn't like doing, and he's making so many mistakes. I had him just sharing the previous round for the first half of the round before he started to make the mistakes. He got himself on top, but he can't continue to box like this. This is not his style.
He's less frantic at the moment, looking for the opening.
Yeah, well, he knows that that's not his style. There's no way he could continue to box like that. He's not a knockout artist, so what's the point? There's more chance of him worsening the damage if he goes looking for a knockout. So he has to box more in his own style and try to get himself back into the fight here. I mean, it is a bad injury. Every little mistake he makes, this cute little fellow's punish him. It's so cute.
Yes, it looked low, that. And Jamili points to him.
See, Cantwell's fainting and he's trying to hassle Jamili, but he's not drawing any leads. The little fellow's just taking his time, just throwing punches when he thinks the time's right. Not a bad little boxer we've got here.
I just keep amazing myself when I look down and see that he's just 20 years old. He's got so much composure.
Yeah, and that's the thing. See, we forget the tough school that they're run over by. Because he's lost 5 fights, you think less of him, but we'd like to see some of the people who've beaten him. Cantwell struggling now to get past the southpaw jab. He's settled his own pace down. He's trying to do it in a clever manner, but now the southpaw jab's giving him some problems.
There's a better right and a left, and encouragement for the fans of Mickey Cantwell.
The trouble is he just had to trade those punches. Jamili come back with 2 of his own. Cantwell's trying to get past the southpaw jab. He's trying to draw it. He's trying to force this fella into making some mistakes now.
There's been a real pressure that he's been able to put on. But you'd hardly say that Jamili looks flustered.
Well, this is better. He's actually nullified a lot of Jamili's work here. He hasn't allowed Jamili to get work off here. That was a better round for Cantwell. That was more his own boxing style there.
His face looks a bloody mess, but as you say, more encouragement there from his corner. As you may have gathered, there are 4 world title fights tonight, and here's the second, and here's Cardiff's Barry Jones coming in for his fight for the vacant WBO Super Featherweight Championship. That follows this fight here between Cantwell and Jamili. Jamili has shown what a unknown quantity can produce. So much good experience out there in the Far East, and that's putting him in very good stead here. And this by far the biggest night of his career, and no problem for him at all to get adjusted to it. Punches landed, and effectiveness of punches too, way towards Jamili.
Round 5.
See, his nose is bleeding, Simon, before a punch even lands. That must really be a bad cut. If Jimmy Tibbs and Frank Black can't stop the bleeding, it must be a bad one. But Cantwell boxed more of his own style in the previous round and had a good round.
That little right uppercut that opens up the attack. Pressure, but again, it's stemmed. Jamili comes back with more of his own.
The uppercut's a difficult one to block from the southpaw stance. That's the one that caused the damage in the first place and has worsened it as the fight's going on. Well, Mickey wants this all right, doesn't he? He's really going for it here.
This is what he's been fighting for through his career. One of the most brilliant amateurs that Britain's had in the last couple of decades. Twice an ABA champion.
Well, Cantwell landed the better of those two shots. See, Cantwell using more savvy now. This is more like his own boxing style, forcing mistakes, thinking what he's doing. He was just a little bit reckless for a couple of rounds.
The cut's worsened.
Cantwell's not allowing Jamili to tee off on him now. He's not making quite so many mistakes, a little bit more control in his boxing now. Good burst of punching from Jamili. He really is such a cool little customer. For 20 years old, he's so cool. When they trade off, he certainly has the quality in his punches. Mickey forcing and kind of cuffing a little bit.
The tape around the gloves of Jamili tells its own story. It's a dark shade of pink, absorbing the blood from the nose of Cantwell.
See, Cantwell's trying to draw leads and Jamili just looking straight back at him. He just likes to work at his own pace. Cantwell can't force him into making mistakes. Again, the nose looking as though it's got a little bit worse.
Giving absolutely everything, Cantwell, but look at the fight back here from Jamili.
See, Cantwell's boxing as though he knows there's no way this can go 12 rounds.
It's a more even contest now, but you wouldn't know it looking at Cantwell's face.
Yep.
So we've seen Barry Jones arrive for his fight. Here's his opponent, Wilson Palacio. We don't know too much about him. He's a very experienced campaigner, but this is his first real major chance. But Jamili's surprised us, and maybe Palacio will as well. He was born to this kind of level, and he leads by 2 rounds with 7 to go.
Opponent in second. Second up. Round 6.
Heavy grease around the nose of Mickey Cantwell as he comes out for the 6th round.
If Mickey can just believe that his corner can keep him in there for the 12 rounds, then he can settle down and box his own style. That would give him a chance of winning here. But if he continues to be so reckless, then the damage is only going to be made worse, and he's going to fall right into this fellow's plan. This fellow's so cool. And for a 20-year-old, amazingly cool. Cantwell just needs the confidence of knowing that his time is not limited, that he's going to be staying in there. And you see the swelling on that nose as well, Simon. It must be interfering with his breathing. You see him opening his mouth now and again. problem right away in the first round too. And again, Cantwell forcing things. This is better. He's making Jamili miss now. He's not quite so reckless. So that, you can see he has to think every move. They can't afford any more punches. That's a nice little left hook. That looked to have a little effect on Jamili there.
Yes, he looked flustered for the first time. Now then.
The punch just seemed to catch him on the ear and just seemed to trouble him just momentarily. And Cantwell's making him miss now. He didn't miss that one.
Lovely right as he came in.
This is a better round for Cantwell so far.
Those punches taken on the glove. Cantwell looking much more effective now, that on the side. This is more like it. Jamili looks to have slowed down a little.
Cantwell looking a bit more mature now, maybe the maturity and the strength. Maybe we've reached a stage now that Cantwell can start taking over a little bit, but he must get confidence that the injury can be handled by his corner. He must forget the injury and just stick to his boxing. I mean, the referee hasn't hounded him, he hasn't stopped to look at it again, he hasn't hassled him in the corner. So he better just get it in his mind that everything's okay as far as injury is concerned, and just stick to this boxing, good calculated boxing. See, Jamili really should be raising the pace to stay with Cantwell. He's not doing that. That is a good sign for Cantwell.
Better round for Mickey Cantwell.
Prince Nassim is live, top of the bill later from New York. And a final reminder here that this is a special pay-per-view event on Sky Box Office 3. If you have ordered this event and are experiencing any difficulties receiving the signal, please call this number, 0990 800 888. 0990 800 888. Lots to come from London Arena. Back to Jim and Simon.
Turning into a really absorbing bout. It looked devastating, the start for Cantwell, but slowly but surely he's mustered all that experience, and maybe he's turning this around.
Well, I think he has it in his mind now. Forget the injury. The injury made him box badly for a couple of rounds. He was out looking for a knockout, and that's not Mickey's style. Settle down now and get himself back into this fight.
Round 10.
He looks across at his opponent with a much more confident look, as if to say, you may have hurt me, you may have injured me, but now I'm after you.
You would have expected Jamili's corner to tell him to raise the pace. He seems to want to counter. That's not how you win world titles away from home. You want to win world titles, you've got to go out and get them. So you'd expect maybe Jamili to raise his game a little bit. Picked off with that southpaw jab again. They're both doing a fair bit of missing here. I don't see the reason for that. I think the gloves bounced off each other. I don't think that was a low punch.
Yes, I thought there might have been a couple earlier, but not then. Just swung him round.
Referees have done unbelievable. Referees counted. That is nonsense. That is a terrible piece of refereeing. I don't believe that. That has just cost little Jamili around and done big things for Mickey Cantwell. That one little incident gets Mickey Cantwell right back into the driving seat here.
And the fans at the back, who won't really have seen that, but it actually ran around the neck, and he swung him round.
That was a
terrible, it was a knockout.
Terrible piece of refereeing. That was disgraceful. But good news for little Mickey, I suppose.
Well, it may well have given him a point. Certainly a point he wouldn't have got anywhere else.
Exactly, so that's the way things are going. It's looking like a 10-8 round for Mickey Cantwell.
And it's brought his supporters into it more, given him the confidence, and you can see it's disrupted the composure that...
Well, Jamili's work hasn't had the same quality about it in the last couple of rounds as it did have in the first 3 rounds. So I think Cantwell beginning to make an impression on him, and maybe we've seen the best of Jamili here. Maybe he's got nothing more to offer than we've already seen, and maybe Cantwell can just stick with what he's doing and just kind of grit his way away here to a victory.
He's gritting his teeth here, all right. But he got caught coming in. Jamili knows that this is a pretty important stage here. Cantwell getting real success.
Cantwell's digging some good punches in here. And a good round for Cantwell. And with the knockdown, although we don't agree with it, we have to score it. The referee's the man, he decides. So that's the round that really turns it around for Mickey Cantwell.
There's the effect of those that have come up from Basingstoke. Sorry, from Eltham and Kent to see their man, and this is the key moment of the fight. Now watch this.
I mean, that was an arm round the neck. The glove did not land in target. The wrist landed on his neck and knocked him off balance. Here it goes, no way, in your wildest dreams, with a punch, threw him off balance, and the referees deemed that a knockdown. Good news for Cantwell, really, but
there's a key scene going on in the corner now of Mickey Cantwell, and the referee's gone over, and there's some heated conversation. Are they going to let him carry on? They are, but it looked dicey. There's a doctor in there as well, and for a moment it looked like it might be up. Maybe there's only 1 round more left in it. We'll have to see. Certainly needs the same kind of success he had in the last round.
Well, the referee's getting over at the end of every round to look at that cut. It hasn't hassled the corner, but the doctor up there, that obviously could be bad news.
So it's getting nearer and nearer, a 10-8 round for Cantwell, and in fact he goes into a lead on Jim's card at the moment. Certainly psychologically he has the advantage right now, but will the cut prevent Cantwell from winning this world title?
You wonder if he's been told this is the last round, because once again he's been careless and been picked off by Jamili. Walking towards that southpaw jab and hook. I wonder if he knows this is the last round, Simon.
And suddenly Jamili's picking up the pace. He's picking Cantwell off. Cantwell's struggling in the corner, and the crowd in the corner willing him to get out of it, but he's taking some leather now. Suddenly the fight switches again.
See, as soon as Cantwell becomes sloppy and goes looking to do damage, that is when he ends up with his second prize here. I mean, things were going nicely. We don't know what took place in that corner. Maybe he's been sent out for the last round, but he's gone back to this overly aggressive, sloppy stuff, and he's running into trouble.
And the punches that are landing for Jamili are making the cut that much worse. I can't believe, if it was close to going in the last round, that it's going to carry now. Back he goes once more. The doctor comes up once more.
The doctor must stop this. The doctor must stop this. I'll be very, very surprised if
it's
he doesn't.
over.
Yep,
it's over. Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Take no credit away from Eric Jamili. He fought very, very well. But just when Cantwell looked to be getting something going here, the fight's over. Jamili has won the World Strawweight Championship, and Cantwell, for the second time when he's fought for the title, has come off second best. A real sense of anticlimax. It was such a good fight.
A dreadful start for Cantwell. I mean, being cut in the first round was terrible. The good thing about Mickey Cantwell, he has Frank Warren behind him, a promoter who's known worldwide, and if anyone can maybe secure a return here, Frank Warren can do it. He's had 2 world title fights already. Maybe Frank Warren can get a third, because he was well in that fight. He had turned it around, and I had the fight fairly even when the end came. Terrible luck.
He's 34 years old now. I wonder if he's got another rise to a world title left in him. Only his 19th fight. He's not exactly overextended himself as a pro, but of course a big amateur record. He was a top amateur for 8 years. Maybe this is the end. We'll have to wait and see.
Simon, Frank Warren enjoys a good association with the WBO, so it's not out of the question that the fight was on injury. It was an even fight. See, just towards the end, he was becoming sloppy again, looking for the knockout, and that is when he's been picked off by Jamili. See, look at the state of that nose. Terrible injury. Terrible injury.
And that's where Mark Nelson came in to finally stop it, and the end of Cantwell's dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute 22 seconds of the 8th round, the referee has stopped the contest with Mickey Cantwell in no position to continue. The winner and new WBO Strawweight champion, Jamili. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'd like to show your appreciation to a very, very great man indeed. Your appreciations, please, for Mickey Cantwell.
Mickey Cantwell remains one of the most popular fighters on the circuit in British boxing, but right now that will be of no consequence to him. And if there was ever any need to prove it to you just what a hard and ruthless business this boxing game is, then surely Cantwell's story will confirm it. Denied by financial problems early in his career. At one stage he lost his house, then he gets into the world class at last, can't beat Matt Lala, comes again, can't beat this young man from the Philippines. And yet again, as Barry McGuigan pointed out before we started tonight, a Filipino fighter with not much in terms of a career background so far proves to be an outstanding prospect, and he is a world champion at the age of just 20. I don't know, Barry, it must be a very tough school where he comes from. He has lost 5 times so far in his career.
Well, you know, bear in mind, a lot of these kids don't have a great deal of amateur experience, and when they go into the professional game, they use the early stages and the embryonic stages in their career to learn their trade. But this guy's tough, like I thought he would be. 20 years old, and poor old Mickey got off to such a bad start. It was a dreadful start, and he had an uphill battle right from the beginning. I really feel for the kid. I thought this was his time. You know, it's always difficult to predict how it's going to come, how it's going to turn out when you don't know what the opposition's like. We just knew when he was a Filipino he'd be tough, and I really feel for the guy. It's terribly upsetting for him, but you know, this is boxing. This is what it's like.
Absolutely right. The good news, I think, Barry, is that, as we've seen, he gets a great reception from the crowd. He is a very popular figure, so Cantwell may well get more work if he chooses to go on.
Yes, he certainly may well get another title fight. And as Jim said, it was a controversial ending because of the cut, and it wasn't controversial. It was fairly clear cut, if you pardon the pun. He was very badly cut in the first round. He didn't have any power, and the problem was he was fighting. He had to pressurize a guy that was a harder puncher than he was taller, and was as slick as he was. So he had a very difficult battle, and it was just very unfortunate. But that's, you know, that's the state of world-class boxing.
Barry, when you get a cut like that in the opening round, does your fight plan go out the window?
Yes, it does effectively. You have to change your tactics, and this guy was hitting hard. I mean, as soon as it went off, the blood started to appear already. He sliced right across the bridge of the nose and just ripped his nose open. It was a right hook from his southpaw side. It was like an uppercut hook, and he took it. You know, he just lifted his nose and separated it. Of course, the danger of going down in weight means that your skin does sometimes suffer, and you don't always have the elasticity and suppleness. And Jamili jabbing and boxing as well, and you know, Mickey constantly frustrated, trying to find his way towards a guy that was taller and just better. I
have to point out that after 15 seconds of the contest, you said to me, this man is going to be a difficult opponent.
Yeah, as soon as we looked at him, I said he's going to be good, and this was the pretty dubious knockdown in the 6th round, which gave him a 10-8 or a 10-8 round, and that was the round 7 actually. And this is round 8. Look at the state of his face at this stage. You see, the problem was Jim kept saying he's being sloppy, he's coming forward, but he had to come forward. He had to take risks, and really he was never going to be able to do it because he doesn't punch with any great power or zest. He was always going to have a big problem, and this kid is a talented guy for 20 years old.
Barry, what chance of a return?
I don't know. At 34 years old, we read during the week in the papers of him having real difficulty making the weight. I don't know how much validity is in that. However, I do think that he may consider retirement. He may consider carrying on. I don't know what he does. I just wish him the best.
Thank you.